Hey, everybody. How you doing? It's been a weird week in sports, huh? We're going to catch up here with my pal Billy Smith and make our picks for NFL Week 8 right here
Woo!
on From the Cheap Seats on the Public John Network. You're listening to us or watching us either on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, I guess I should say, or Spotify. And before we even get going here, let's thank our buddy Dennis Ingraldi over at Vineland Realty Corporation. Thanks, Dennis, for sponsoring everything that's public, John. 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, guys. Their number is 856-690-9482. Any property needs you may have, whether you want to sell a property, buy a property, whether it's residential, whether it's business, you want to rent out a property, or you need it to rent an apartment or something, or a house. Give Dennis and his folks a call down at Vineland Realty Corporation, 856-690-9482. Or pop in the office and see the staff and let them know what you want to do. They're at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Thanks again, Dennis, for sponsoring this and all our other Public John shows. We appreciate it. Okay, Bill, we'll mention, since we are a sports show, we got to mention a couple other things, but they'll be pretty quick. One, Flyers playing above expectations so far, I think. If they can keep that, maybe my cynicism on hiring John Tortorella was wrong, saying the only real substantial made was hiring the coach. Big deal. Well, maybe it's a big deal. Maybe, just maybe, it's a big deal because they're playing great hockey.
Yeah, 4-2, and with injuries, and
I was going to say, they got a couple guys
competitive.
out, right? Connect's out. Who else is out?
I thought Couturier's out.
Yes,
and,
Couturier. I'm sorry.
And Cam Atkinson.
Okay, yeah, that's right, Atkinson. So,
and their best defender, who played 4 games in 2 years with them. So
yeah, right. But yeah, they're playing very well. So you got to give them their due. Meanwhile, the 76ers in Philadelphia are not playing very well. They did finally win a couple of games, I think, and got off the schneid, as they say. But looks like they're still learning to gel, which is weird because, but they do have a couple new guys like PJ Walker, and I can't remember who else, but they have a couple new guys as well, and they're trying to learn how to play with those guys, I think, and that might be the deal there. But they have won a couple games, I think, in their start. But they did lose, I think, last night, right, to Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens down the road. I think they know that they're a playoff team, so it's a matter of learning what works best for them and how far they want to go. Brooklyn, I think, beat Milwaukee last night in a well-to-do showdown, but it's early. NBA. All I know is I like the fact that the Lakers are awful.
Yeah, that. And it's funny because I'm in a fantasy basketball league, and I tell you what, I think the basketball players are the most trying to think of the right word I want to say.
Self-centered, maybe self-centered,
no,
egotistical.
It's just they're always injured. They
yes, they're injury prone.
They stub their toe. I'm out for a freaking week.
Right. Yes, that's true. Yes. Good. That's a good point. Yeah. I got a hangnail. See ya in February.
Yeah. It's like
it's crazy.
It's so frustrating.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I don't blame you for that one either. That's a good observation. I'm trying to think of what else there is. So how
we
are
got the Union.
Doing?
Yeah, the Union. They're in the conference finals. They play New York City this Sunday. So I'll be flipping the channels between
flipping channels around. Excellent.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun. So here we go, and I think that was pretty much it until we get to the NFL. College football, no big surprises this past week. We're going to see what happens here with a couple of games this week, and see what I think Ohio State plays Michigan State. I don't see that as much of a game. UCLA, the 2 undefeated. UCLA did lose finally. I thought that was coming at some point. Chip Kelly was smoking mirrors and playing,
good old Chip Kelly.
Old Chip Kelly playing the Little Sisters of the Poor, and it was funny because it's his old team, Oregon, that beat him. So, I thought that was pretty cool.
Pretty ironic. Yeah.
Yep. So let's head to week 8 of the NFL. There were some surprises, Bill. We took a beating, or I did, on a couple on the spread. I was 6-8, below 500 for the first time this season, and the first time in a long time. That put me behind you now on the spread. I had caught up, but that's gone. I'm 2 games behind you on the spread overall. I'm at 49% at 51 and 53. Bill, you caught me and passed me, and you are now at 52 and 52. You are exactly 50% on the spread, which is pretty good because after I took a look, Vegas's odds are like 56. Theirs are lower too as well. It's been a very surprising NFL season. Straight up, we are dead even at 59 and 48. Both of us have a tie, obviously. So we're at 59 and 48, both of us at exactly 55%. And that's because there were a couple of not just surprises, but shockers that got us. Man, I mean, crazy. First off, I got lucky and took the Giants, and you took Jacksonville. Jacksonville had a chance to win it and didn't. So I got lucky there and you didn't. That's unfortunate. I took Arizona and you took New Orleans. I was gonna say I got lucky there, but Arizona actually handled it. However, I don't know if you saw, Andy Dalton is going to start even though Jameis Winston is healthy. So they're still going to start Andy Dalton this week. I don't understand it.
I don't understand. They're 2-5. I mean, their offense is sputtering.
Their offense is sputtering. Dalton isn't taking care of the ball. He's throwing picks. So I don't understand it. But, we're not the coaches watching them. So Dallas was all over Detroit. Green Bay unbelievably lost to your Commanders. Now, you won on the spread on that when you were smart, saying that they would stay within 4.5. But we both lost. No. Yeah, we lost straight up.
Yeah, we lost straight up.
Yeah, we lost straight up. But you won on the spread, so congrats there. You smelled something. Neither one of us. John lost his lock of the week badly. This lock wasn't just picked. This lock was bolt cutted. Okay, you could never use this lock again. Tampa Bay wasn't just beaten by Carolina. They were manhandled. Unbelievable that Carolina trades away their best player in Christian McCaffrey before the week. They are on their 3rd string quarterback because the top 2 are injured, and he led them to a win. And the same thing was said in Carolina. Walker's still going to start even at this point if Mayfield and Darnold are healthy. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, he just got you the biggest win you've gotten in a couple of years. So.
And Tom Brady, I'm really pissed off.
Brady.
He should have retired, stayed home with his trophy wife and all this other crap. And he comes back and he plays like shit.
And he, you know what? He looks bad.
Yeah.
If you look at him like in the press conferences, he looks skinny. He looks facial and body. He looks like a Halloween skeleton with skin. He looks that bad. I mean, have some more avocado ice cream or whatever. Do something. Change that. Eat, what's the old thing Keith Olbermann used to say in them old Boston Market commercials? Eat a sandwich. Eat something, Tom. Come on. Feel like a human. Tommy, you're killing it.
Tommy.
You're killing Vegas. You're.
What, they get 3 points against Carolina?
They got they got 13.
Oh, they end up getting 13.
And they were.
I stopped watching it because they were just.
And they got spanked.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they'd pulled the game out, you would have lost in Vegas on the bet. It was awful. They looked terrible. Don't get me wrong. Mike Evans dropped a huge touchdown pass. It was right.
Oh yeah, he was like.
It was wide open, and it was a very close game. Then actually, I think Tampa would have taken the lead.
Yeah, that was in the first quarter, I believe it was.
Yeah, but I think that was a big momentum changer. I mean, he just dropped the ball. It was just flat out in his hands.
I'm wondering if Tom's play though is about the family home stuff. I wonder if that's on his mind.
You got to think it's in his head.
Yeah.
And I thought something he said the other day was ironic. It had nothing to do with the family, but he always says, "I don't quit anything," which he doesn't. I mean, history shows that. So at this point, it's probably not in his choice. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think you're right. I think it's playing on his mind that But we don't know the workings of the marriage. But you're right. I think it's affecting
Yeah,
him.
and this has
It's
got to
got
be
to
his
affect it.
last. It's got to be his last season
I think
too.
it
I
is.
mean,
Yeah. If it's not, then I think it will be told to him that it is. Do you know what I mean? I think Tampa's going to say we got to go a different direction, Tom. It's not necessarily you. Thank you for getting us a Super
right?
Bowl, because without him they
Sure.
wouldn't have got it. But
Yeah.
at this point, you got to move on from Tom. I think he's shown that he's done. Most of his passes are 5 and 10 yard slants that aren't being completed, or if they are, the guys aren't breaking. And Tampa's got a couple injuries this week. Gage is
Yeah.
out. I think it's
Julio's questionable.
Julio's questionable, and I think it's Godwin is questionable as well, or is going to play hurt. So Brait's out too, by
Yep.
the way. So they're big tight end. So yeah, Tampa's got some issues this coming week. Baltimore and Cleveland, you were pretty smart, buddy, again on the
I
spread,
did
and
that
you
one.
kept
Yeah.
Cleveland. You picked Baltimore straight up, and so you were dead on, and you picked Cleveland to beat the spread, and you
Yeah.
were dead on with that one. I took Baltimore straight up, but kept Baltimore with the
That's
spread and lost it.
that's one of those division games when it's usually by a
It's
field goal.
always a field goal, and that's what it was. Cincinnati beat up on Atlanta. I thought Atlanta would stay closer because they've been playing well, but nope. You took Cincinnati across the board. That worked. Big one for me. You took Indy, and I took Tennessee. And of course, Tennessee worked out great. I took them
Yeah.
across the board.
And I can't believe Frank Reichstad's got a job. I mean,
I know it. Well, he's changing to the
yeah, he's
unproven,
changing quarterback.
unsolved. But a good point was made that it might not even be his decision at this point. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah, I
think
guess not. I
because
mean,
they've already said this guy's playing for the rest of the year, even when Ryan gets healthy.
right, right,
And as of right now, injury or not, they said Nick Foles is the backup. So it
right.
tells you that Ryan's going to be number 3. Don't be surprised if Ryan retires too officially at the end of the season, like
Yeah,
Brady. I think
it's
he's
a
done.
shame because there's times he looks really good, and there are other
And
times he's
same with
awful. I mean,
Wentz. There are times he looks great, and then when push comes to shove, he just looks like awful. Now the difference is Ryan doesn't always turn it over, but they punt a lot. Wentz
right.
turns it over out of
Right.
desperation. That's really the major difference between the two. Um, Jets in Denver. We both took the Jets across the board, and boy, were we smart there. I
Yeah, and
couldn't
it's a
believe it
shame
was only
the
2. Russell
Ru-
Wilson says he's going
yeah,
to play this week in London, but we'll see. I don't know if
it,
it is this week.
it was a bittersweet win for the Jets because they lost their rookie running back who would have been
Yes,
rookie of the year, Brees Hall, and
Brees Hall. There was
tore an
no doubt.
ACL.
Yeah,
So
no doubt he had rookie of the year sewn up, and if he recovers from the ACL, okay, he's going to be a great running back.
yeah,
You just got to hope he does because he really looks dynamic. Vegas and Houston, we both how do we do on that one? I think
I won. You lost on
you
the
won.
spread, I
I
believe.
lost on the spread. I thought Houston would play closer. Yes. Kansas City and San Francisco. I wimped out because I love the Chiefs, and I panicked and thought all these guys coming back for San Francisco, and they got Christian McCaffrey who might make a few plays. Uh, so I switched last minute to San Francisco, and that was a huge mistake. My Chiefs took care of business in a big way and made Billy look really good. I'll tell you, I just think the only team that could stop them, really, 2 teams, maybe Philly could stay close. I thought San Francisco would, I guess not. Buffalo, who beat them.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders will hang tough because it's a division game. The Chargers would hang tough, but the Chargers are in trouble with injuries. Speaking of them, Seattle took care of
Ugh,
business. The only thing that it worked for me was it worked for both of us. We both took Seattle to stay close.
yes.
Um, and we both came out okay on that. Other than that, I mean, the Chargers look bad,
Oh, they look terrible too.
but they're hurt. They're hurt so
Yeah.
bad. They're so beat up, um, and still are this week. So, Miami and Pittsburgh, we both won that pretty big. Yeah, Tua was back, and he looked like he was back. Pickett doesn't look bad. He's just going to need more playing time.
Yeah.
I
No,
think,
I give
and
the
more
kids
and
some
more
credit.
weapons. Give the kid credit. He's got no
Yeah.
line. And he's only got one or two weapons. Najee Harris, I don't think, has performed up to expectations this season. So they've had to go away from the run a lot. And when you know somebody's going to throw, I don't care who they are, you're coming at them. And Miami did that. And we were smart about it. And in a shocker that crushed us both, New England started Mac Jones, yanked him, put in Bailey. We're happy with Zappy until the second half, and we're not so happy. Chicago made some changes, and it was a close game at half, and then Chicago just ran away with it.
Yeah, I think this is the one where Belichick got smart at himself. He should have stayed with Zappy at least one more game.
Started him, kept him in there, and worked his offense, because you know yourself, Mac Jones, obviously he took the number one reps all week, so that's how they worked their offense around. And that's a lot different, I think, than Zappy. Jones might be a little more mobile. Zappy's a better passer.
Yeah.
And I think they worked the offense wrong, and by then you couldn't change it. And I still question Matt Patricia, who was a defensive guy his whole career, playing and coaching, being the offensive coordinator. I think that's hurt them too. So they're going to have to do something. But they still have a shot at the playoffs. So who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. So if they make the right changes, they could get in it. We went over what our records were for the week. So now we're ready to go and pick this week's games, Bill. And the first one on the ballot here, we're using DraftKings right up to the minute odds. We thank DraftKings for making their lines available to us right up to the last minute of showtime. Baltimore and Tampa Bay. Tampa is picked by 2.
Went up 1. Okay.
Yeah, it went up. That's why I did it last minute this week.
Yeah, no, I mean Tampa being the favorite, or actually it's +2 they're getting to, right? They're underdog.
Let me see. Now let me go back.
We're +1 earlier.
You might be right. It is Buccaneers are favored by 2.
Okay, so
Bucs are favored by 2. So I guess you had a 3-point swing there.
Yeah, 3-point swing. I think because Baltimore is beat up with injuries also.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I think that's really the reason, is the injuries.
But Tampa Bay is just brutal.
Well,
I mean,
the only thing is Baltimore's secondary, their defense is like 26th against the pass. I was listening to.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be tough.
I think what Tampa is, they need to get back to running the ball. Tommy shouldn't be throwing the ball 40 times a game.
No, Fournette should be running the ball about at least 20 times a game, and maybe catching it out of the backfield at least 5 or 6 more.
And I think that's a big difference between the coach now and
Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
Well, you have the same offensive coordinator in Leftwich.
Yeah.
But maybe they've changed the team's total philosophy, So I don't know.
But with that said, like I said, I can't pick Tampa the way they've been playing the last. They lose 4 out of the last 5, I believe.
I think so. But here's the thing: they're still either tied or only one. I think they're still tied for the division lead, which is 3 and 4. But I think they're tied for the division lead, probably with New Orleans and Atlanta.
Yeah. So this is a pick'em game, really. So, but I'm going to go out and take the Ravens with the upset.
Okay. Which probably means you're going to take them against the spread as well, right?
I'll take the +2, yes.
I'll tell you, just for fun, Bill, plus I'm losing. I'm going to go ahead. Gosh. I keep thinking Tampa Bay. I'm going to take them. I've been talking myself out of stuff. I'm going to take them. Just, I don't know why. Just a hunch that, Tom and somebody's going to straighten some stuff out. And
I got a 50-50 chance.
I got a 50-50 shot. Yeah. You never know. By Sunday morning on the Express, I might be changing it, baby. We'll see.
No, you won't, because it's tonight's game.
Oh, yeah. I am going to try and change it.
You're going to change it.
Okay. Hey, Bill, I'm going to change the Tampa Bay game. It is the Thursday night game tonight on Amazon Prime. Don't miss that, with Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit and that whole crew. I really like Richard Sherman Fitzpatrick's
Yeah,
pretty good too. I
yeah,
really
I
like
like them
Richard
both. Yeah,
Sherman. He just says what he thinks, man. And
yeah.
he's just flat out. When he was talking about the Russell Wilson thing, he was with Denver that one week. He was on it. And he said it
Hmm.
at halftime, and you could see he was dead right at halftime. They don't let him roll out. They don't let him do this. They don't let him do that. Well, there you go. Um, so, and he was dead on. And Russell's getting beat up. Uh,
Yeah.
bad shoulder, now bad hammy. He says he's going to play. So we'll see what happens there. That's Denver and Jacksonville. And I think that's in London because that's the thing I
Yes.
saw. So that's in London. So that'll be a 9:30 game,
Yeah.
9:30 in the morning. Jacksonville picked by 2.5. It says Jacksonville's the home team. They usually are in London, and they have a pretty big following in London.
Yeah.
Um, if Russell plays, is he going to be mobile? Now,
But
here's the thing with Jacksonville. Jacksonville did trade their number one running back. They
yeah,
traded Robinson.
that's because Etienne
Etienne looks
took
good,
his job. Took his
but
job.
Etienne though has some fumble issues or some
Yes.
hands issues. He drops
Yeah.
passes. He fumbled,
Yeah.
cost him a game I think the other week. So,
Yeah.
but I do like him as a runner. You're right. If he
Yeah.
learns to hang on to the football, he's actually a better runner than Robinson. But
Yeah.
Robinson ain't no slouch. He's no
No,
slouch.
no. And the Jets needed him
And the
to
Jets needed him after the
need him
injury to
anyway.
Hall. So, all right. So there you have it.
But getting back to Russell Wilson, even if he isn't he wasn't mobile before, and he was awful. And
Yeah, it was awful.
Jacksonville's a scrappy team. I like Jacksonville, so I will take Jacksonville
Okay, Bill taking Jacksonville
across the board.
across the board. Oh, I need to mark that this game is a difference for us. There we go. The first game. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, this one's tough for me because it really is. If but there's a lot of ifs. We don't know if he'll play. We don't know if he'll be effective if he plays. Um, I hate to do it, but I think I got to agree with you. And it's funny that Jacksonville's favored, but I think that's why because of the Russell Wilson uncertainty.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
even if he plays, how good's he going to be? Um, so we agree on that one. Arizona and Minnesota. Minnesota's picked by 3.5.
All right.
I will, and as I said, I will double check these. Yes,
Yeah, it
Minnesota
went
by
down.
three and a
Yeah,
half. It
it
went
went
down a
down a
half.
half a point. Yeah,
Okay. So it is Minnesota by 3.5. Now, Arizona looked pretty good last week.
yeah. They got Hopkins back, and
Yeah, and that's a huge difference. We saw that. Boy, that offense was a lot different. And it wasn't just Hopkins, but Hopkins was the main guy.
yeah, I think they get Connor back. I think so. They're starting to get some players back.
Yeah,
But
Connors they didn't.
Minnesota, yeah,
Connors is back this week, right? His first
yes,
week
yes.
back. Yes. So that could make a
Um,
difference too.
we had Minnesota with a bye week, so they were well rested and
Yeah.
probably added some plays in their playbook and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I will take Minnesota to win
Okay.
the game, but I think I'll take the Cardinals to cover. I think it might be a field goal game.
Okay. Got it. I am going to. This is tough, and you're right. It's a tough one, but I'm going to take Arizona across the board. I
Hmm.
just think that Hopkins is that much of a difference, and I don't know if Minnesota's going to be able to stop them. And with Connors back, as you like to say, that being said,
That being said,
Connors is back, and if he can give them, and Benjamin's running the ball pretty well too.
yeah,
Uh, so that could be a nice 1-2 punch to develop this very first week back for Connors. So I'm going to take Arizona across the board. We'll see what happens. So let me mark that as a game. We've got a difference of opinion on there, and there we go. Vegas, New Orleans, the Raiders in New Orleans are picked by 1. The news there is Andy Dalton is still going to start at quarterback, even though Jameis Winston is healthy for New Orleans.
yeah. I don't know what's up with New Orleans. Not offensively. I mean defensively. They were like a top 10 defense for the beginning of the year, and they just been poo-pooing the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, and Andy Dalton's still quarterback, and so I will take the Raiders
Okay.
and the cover. Raiders across the board.
Raiders across the board. And I hate to say it, but I am with you. I just don't see it. I don't, not with Andy. I mean, with Winston, it's marginal.
Right.
I would bet with Winston, that would be New Orleans by 1 or 2.
Right.
But with Dalton starting, turnovers again. I mean, he threw picks last week again. So, though Winston was known for that, he had a good year with that last year with the Saints. So, I
Well,
don't.
and with Winston, they got the deep ball, and they throw,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
stretch the field. So
yeah, and he's somewhat mobile.
yeah,
He can take off on you and get a few yards. Uh, Patriots at Jets, and I believe it's the Patriots. It is picked by 2.5. I don't
yeah.
know.
This is pretty interesting. The Jets being 5-2, um,
It's in New Jersey.
and they're home, and they're a home
Yeah,
dog,
yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying.
this is the one that screwed me last week when when Jackson was favored over the Giants, and I figured
Yeah,
something's up with that, so I'm gonna take Jacksonville. But
yeah,
you know, New England really looked bad Monday, so I mean they could come back.
yeah,
Um, Jets are without their top running back, but
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to take the Jets at home.
Okay. If it was 3.5 or higher, I would maybe take New England and then the Jets to cover. But it is 2.5. Will Robinson have enough time to know the playbook? They did get him early in the week,
Yeah,
which was smart.
and I tell you what, their backup running back's not bad, Carter. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
so
Carter's not bad.
even if Carter starts, I think they'll be
I
okay.
I think the key here is defense, and I think the Jets have a better defense than New England. I mean, look what New England gave up against the Bears,
Yeah,
who, the Bears aren't known for their offense, and they made Justin Wilson look like a Hall of Famer the other night. I mean, he's going direct, give him the gold jacket. He's going in. So I think I got to go with you and take the Jets across the board. And like you said, I can't believe they're a home dog. So, uh, Chicago and Dallas. Dallas is picked by at home 9.5.
yeah, and I think breaking news. I think Zeke Elliott might be out.
Yes, I did hear that yesterday was a
Yeah,
possibility, but now it looks like I
but
think you're
I think
correct.
he
He
is
is
out.
out.
So
Yeah.
Pollard, I think it's an upgrade a little bit.
As far as starting, yeah. Now the difference that a lot of people say is that Zeke not only is a more powerful runner, but he is a better pass protector.
Protector, yes,
He will pick up the blitz and it's probably because he's bigger.
right,
Pollard's not a big guy comparatively speaking, but you're right. As a running back, he's more versatile. I think he catches passes out of the backfield better. He's more of a breakaway threat anytime. He
hmm
gives you a better chance of running outside around the perimeter and getting to the outside than Zeke does. But
right,
Zeke's going to give you more bull muscle inside. So they're a nice 1-2 combination.
yeah.
And again, I'll quote you though. That being
With that being said,
Chicago had the game of the week last week for them. The game of the
yeah,
year. I mean, game of the year. I think that's over, at least for now. I think Dallas is too tough, and it is a short week for them. Technically, it's Monday to
right,
Sunday, so I can't go against Dallas on this one.
yeah,
And Dak is back. If it was Cooper Rush, I would in 9.5. I would take Chicago maybe to hang in
yeah.
on the spread, but it's not.
I totally agree.
So
But I'm looking at it as the defense part, not the offense for the Cowboys, the defense. Uh,
well, the
Cowboys
def
defense is like in the top five right now, and
right.
I
Well, Chicago's defense took a hit too. Their best pass rusher got traded to Philly
yeah,
and
yeah,
Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
So, which is going to upgrade Philly even more. I was watching ESPN a little bit yesterday, and Marcus Spears, who of course retired as a Cowboy, was a Cowboy his whole career, was just shaking his head and upset. He goes, because we went and got this guy who's middle of the road and maybe an upgrade for us when Robert Quinn was out there. Look what Howie Roseman did for Philly. And he's shaking his head. He goes, I'm feeling terrible today because, undefeated. And then you go get one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put him on one side and Brandon Graham on the other, and you got Fletcher Cox in the middle.
Yeah. Kudos to them. Yeah.
Yep. That's a good executive move. He's playing
Yeah.
executive of the year, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Roseman from Philly. That's a great move. But that's going to hurt Chicago's pass rush even more.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, defensively for Dallas, Diggs and
Oh my God, what's his name?
pass rusher,
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Parsons.
Parsons. It's
Micah
going to be
Parsons.
just a little too
Oh,
much
yeah.
for
I mean,
Chicago, and
Parsons,
this could be like a 30-3 game. I don't
yeah,
see Chicago really
I don't
getting
see
on
it.
the
Yeah,
board.
I agree.
So I
27 to
will,
3, 27 to 6 or
yeah,
something,
I'll
30 to
definitely
6.
take Dallas
Yeah,
across
I
the
did
board.
too already across the board. Yeah. It's the
As a
thing
matter of
here
fact,
is Justin Fields. Will
okay,
is that going to be your lock of the
that's
week?
my lock of the week
Bill's
right there.
lock of the week.
I was looking for one, and I just talked myself into it.
Well, you didn't have to look very hard. I shouldn't say that, says the guy who lost his lock of the week badly last week. But I don't think you had to look very hard, my friend, for your lock of the week. So Atlanta, Carolina, Atlanta picked by 4 at home. Carolina, I don't know what to make of them. I mean, they
Yeah.
beat Tampa Bay last week. Tampa Bay is at least on par or level, or maybe even just a notch above um, um, Atlanta. So is Carolina going to come out and do the deed, or are they going to say, "Well, Tampa Bay was our game of the year"? We're
Yeah,
done.
I mean
You
this.
know, it's
You could
tough.
say my land in this one.
It's either gonna clean you out or stop you up, whichever one you need, but it's gonna do one or the other. You're right. Yeah, this is the game that if you're not in Atlanta or Carolina, this is the game not to watch. If somebody puts this on, like I'm here in Kansas and the Chiefs are off this week, so I have no idea what game I'm going to get yet.
Yeah.
This could be a Johnny's putting on red zone in the background and doing some housework.
Yeah, this will definitely be low scoring because both teams are going to be running the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
Both be running the ball. Mariota threw the ball 16 times last week.
Right. It's going to be
They're just
Mariota, and I can't remember the name of the running back, who looks pretty good.
Tyler
Algiers,
Algier.
yes, he looked
Yeah.
pretty good. And I
Yeah.
think part of Atlanta's problem was they stopped going to the run last week
Yeah.
a little bit too early,
Yeah.
and that cost
So
them. It cost
yeah.
them.
But
And Carolina's back isn't bad. He's not Christian McCaffrey, but nobody is
no,
Christian
they
McCaffrey.
got Foreman and Chuba Hubbard.
Hubbard was the kid
Hubbard,
that
yes.
looked pretty good last week.
So but
And Walker's a little more mobile than either Mayfield and obviously Darnold, who's just a
oh
drop back.
yeah,
But they're
no
both
doubt.
out and they're starting Walker. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
out per se, but the announcement was made that Walker was going to start even if they were
Yeah.
healthy.
But I'm going to play it safe here, and I will take the Falcons at home, but I'll take the 4.
But you're going to take Carolina to cover.
Take Carolina and the points.
Okay. This is a tough one, Bill. And obviously, I'm picking these as we go this week. Normally, I have most of mine done before you call in. But this one was a very tough one for me. I think I'm going to go with, and just a hunch, just a total hunch. We've explained both sides of this, and there isn't much of a difference, really. I'm surprised it's 4. You could almost make this a pick 'em to me.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
would.
only thing. So I will take Carolina to cover.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to go with I think I got to go with you. I think I got to go with Atlanta to win the game, a close one. For now,
Right.
that is one that could change. Sunday Morning Express, I might switch to Carolina. That's how unsure I am of this one. Miami, Detroit. Miami picked in Detroit by 3.5. Now, the coach and the GM both got a vote of confidence from the owner of Detroit yesterday. That usually spells doom and gloom, but I don't think so. I think the observations are that win or lose, Detroit's playing a lot tougher and is probably a player or two away from becoming a real contender for postseason play. It probably won't be this year, but I think people are seeing that Detroit is here to play. They're no slouch. They had one bad game, but the rest of them they've been in and had a couple of them they should have won.
Yeah,
They're pretty
they're
tough.
one of those exciting teams, but their defense is brutal.
Yes,
Um,
that's the problem, and then
and I
that's
don't.
that, and that's where that one or two players has to come in.
Yeah,
Um,
they supposedly get Swift back this week, the running back,
that's huge.
and I'm not sure about St. Brown yet,
Yeah,
but
that's a
I
problem.
still don't think it's going to be enough to catch up with
No,
Miami. So I'll
I
take the
I
Dolphins and
don't.
give
I
the
think
points.
I think Two is on a mission now, even though he's supposedly trying to be careful. I saw a scramble or two the other night against Pittsburgh. He was not careful. He
Right,
still went head first to try. And he said, his coach said, it's a process. We don't want him to do that, but it's hard to tell a player in the middle of a play not to do that when it's what he's done his whole life.
right.
So hopefully and one of them he came up a yard short for and took a hell of a hit. But when you looked at it on replay, he actually delivered the hit. So, and he's not a little guy. But I think you're right. I think Miami's too much for Detroit right now because Detroit doesn't have a defense.
Right.
And it's 3.5. If it was three or less, or four or higher, I would probably go with Detroit to cover. But I just don't see them staying that close because of the defense or lack thereof. So I guess I'm with you on that one. We're both taking Miami across the board. Philly and Pittsburgh, the spread is 10.5. Like we talked about before, they picked up Robert Quinn, a new pass rusher. Their secondary is probably the best in the league. If not, it's in the top two. They already have Brandon Graham who can rush the passer. Their linebackers are good. I can't see Pittsburgh moving the ball much and see them put a lot of pressure on Kenny Pickett for Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's defense isn't anywhere near as good. Now they got Fitzpatrick back. That makes a little bit of a difference. But I think Philly will be able to run on them. I think they'll be able to throw on them a little bit. They might not get the deep play,
Yeah.
but they'll get the intermediate plays, the slants, the runs after catches.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts is a beast to try to stop when he runs the ball.
Yeah. The Battle of Pennsylvania is not going to look too pretty, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah.
So
If this is the Battle of Gettysburg,
yeah.
it ain't good. The Southern team is going to win. Philly's more south than Pittsburgh. So
um yeah, Philly being well rested, they're on a roll. Hopefully the bye didn't cool them down,
yeah,
cool them down too much. But I got to take the Eagles and give the 10.5.
yeah. The only thing that could change for me is the 10.5 on the Express Sunday, but I don't see that happen. So Tennessee and Houston. Tennessee starting to look pretty good. Derrick Henry's starting to run the ball well again. I don't know if that's linemen or if I think it's more of they're actually starting to go
Yeah,
to him more like they used to. And
and
it's
I think
freeing up
yeah,
other stuff. It's freeing up
and
Tannehill. It's freeing up the
yeah, well,
receivers.
Tannehill I think is questionable this week too.
Is he?
So
Well, the spread, maybe that's why the spread's only 2.5 over Houston.
yeah, he got knocked out last week, came back and played, but I think
Shouldn't
it's
have, huh? Maybe.
a bum ankle. I think.
Oh, bum
So.
ankle. Uh, yeah. Uh, but if
But
you got
Tennessee
Derrick
being
Henry
it,
running,
yeah, but Tennessee being in first, Henry, I think if Tannehill doesn't play, they're really going to ground and pound. So I'll take the Titans to cover.
Yeah, that's one I did already do because it was 2.5. If it was one of those 5 or 6 point games because Tannehill's out, maybe I could be convinced to change, but not at 2.5.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. Seattle and the Giants. It's in Seattle. This could be a great game. Now, Seattle is picked by 3.5. Geno Smith is playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
And the running back, I tried to get him. It was too late. Yeah,
Walker. Yeah.
Walker
Yeah.
looks fantastic. And if that
No,
keeps happening, and you
I
got
think
Lockett,
that's your new rookie of the year right there, Walker.
that might be. He might take it over if he keeps running well. Um, they looked pretty good. But every time you say that against the Giants, Daniel
I,
Jones and those boys find a way to win.
yeah, I mean, I've been
Their
going against the
defense is
Giants.
good. Yep. I've been going against the Giants 3-4 weeks in a row, and I think I've lost like every time. I can't remember who beat them. It might have been Philly. It's the only team that probably beat them. That's the undefeated team in the
Yeah.
NFL. So I mean,
This
they
comes
look
down
good.
to this one here comes down to home field advantage, the 12th man
The
in
12th man in
Seattle.
Seattle.
So, but with that being said, as usual,
there we go.
I will take the Seahawks, but I will
I'll
take the
take the
Giants at
Giants to
3.5. It
cover.
could be a 3-point game.
I'm going to take Seattle across the board for now. Thank God for that Sunday Morning Express. But I think I'm going to keep. I'm either. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll mark it down here. The only way that could change is if I get some kind of a buzzing in my head that don't count the Giants out again. Of course, yeah, I know. It's 3.5. I could go with the Giants across the board, but I also may look at the spread last minute too and see if it's changed for any reason. San Francisco and the Rams, the Niners are picked by 1.5 in LA, but with the Rams especially, but usually in that stadium who they share with the Chargers, it's not really a home field advantage for the fans.
No doubt.
And the Niners will travel well to LA, let's face it. And the Niners need a win because Seattle is leading the division by a game over them, as do the Rams. They both need a win.
Yeah, the Rams need it also.
Yeah.
The Niners didn't look good last week. The Rams, once again, a well-rested team.
Yeah.
This is a coin flip for me. So I'm going to go right now with the Rams and take the 1.5.
Ooh. Rams across the board.
Yep.
This, my friend, will be a difference. I'm going to take San Francisco across the board. I think McCaffrey's had a week to learn the playbook. They've had a week to put a couple plays in for him that are going to make a difference. And I still think their San Francisco's defense is better than the Rams defense. So I am going to take the Niners across the board. So I've marked that as a difference. We've got one there. I just think despite okay.
No, I feel you, and I understand.
Yeah.
I just like the Rams to have 2 weeks to prepare for this game.
That's true. That's true. Taking that into consideration, you're right. But I think San Francisco is going to come out motivated because of what just happened to them in Kansas City, which was a shock. So actually, that was in San Francisco, in Santa Clara.
It was in
Kansas City. And Kansas City spanked them to the point of where the Niners were like, "Thanks, Pat Mahomes. Can I have another?" I mean, they were getting spanked. So Washington at Indy. Indy's getting 2.5, even though the news we talked about earlier is that Matt Ryan is out due to injury. But even if he wasn't injured, when he's due back soon, he is not the starter. The second string rookie who has, I don't know if he's a rookie or second
Ellinger. Yeah, I think it's the
Ellinger
second year.
has never thrown an NFL pass. So, but I will say, Frank Reich does know quarterbacks to the point of he can watch and make observations. I don't think we talked about it earlier. I don't think this decision was made by him per se, but I probably don't think he fought back much. And the other part of this too is he's probably fighting for his job.
Yeah.
He's got to have a pretty good season to and a shot to keep his job here. Jim Irsay has been known to pull the trigger. He's I want to say Jerry Jones light, except at least Irsay every so often gets it right.
All right.
Jerry hasn't gotten it right in over 20 years. The Cowboys will be better when Jerry passes the torch to his son and stays out of it. But I don't, and I thought that might be happening soon, but it doesn't look like it now. So,
did you want to check the spread on that? Because I had Washington plus 2.5.
Let me double
earlier.
check. Yeah, that's what I have. 2.5 is Washington.
So
as the underdog.
Yeah.
That's what I have. What did I say? Washington?
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. It's Indy that's the favorite. You're right. And I have it marked that way. I just
and this is
the
another
Rift
one.
program's killing me.
It could go either way.
Yes, but I will tell you what I did up front and why. I took Washington. I think Taylor Heineke is an upgrade, number one, from Carson Wentz. I really do. I think the team plays harder for him. He's more mobile actually in the pocket, and he doesn't make the mistakes that Carson Wentz seems to make. I like the kid. He's gritty. He plays with heart. Is he a starter everywhere in the NFL? No. But I think for this team, he's the best option. He's the better option. I really believe that.
Oh, yeah.
I think him, Gibson, you got another running back there who's pretty good. McLaurin is playing well now. I think there's more of a rapport in the game between Heineke and McLaurin.
Yes.
So I took Washington, and I think they're going to beat the spread. It's only 2.5 anyway, so them winning the game automatically beats the spread.
Yeah.
I like Washington in this game. Plus, it's a brand new quarterback.
Yeah, it's a coin flip for me. I totally agree with the new quarterback.
I agree they got to make a change.
I think this is going to be a Jonathan Taylor game because I think they're going to run the ball more.
That could be, and they're going to have to with a new quarterback.
This is going to be a low scoring game.
I agree with that. You're right.
So, but something just telling me take the home team, so I'll take the Colts at home. So that's our difference.
There's our difference there. And you're taking them to cover, obviously, because it's only a 2.5 point spread. Yeah. Okay. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but go Washington. I don't know if I've said that about an Eastern Division team outside of Philly in a long time, but go. I still want to say go Skins. Did you see Dan Snyder's wife still called them the Redskins the other day?
No.
On purpose too. They said there was something that she was asked. She goes, "Go Redskins." She made it a point to say Redskins. I was like, I like her. I like her. I don't like him. He's an asshole. But apparently he found a hot wife who's got her own opinion. So I go with that. Well, money is wise. He got that. So Green Bay and Buffalo. In Buffalo, Green Bay is favored to lose this one to Buffalo by 11.
That's a huge spread. I don't remember the last time Aaron Rodgers' team was always by 11.
By double digits. Jeez.
But they just can't score.
No.
They're a team that can't score, and playing a team like Buffalo,
no receivers.
You got to score.
Yep.
So,
you're not going to win a close game.
I don't know where the points are going to come from, so I'll have to take Buffalo and give the points.
I think this is one that I'm with you on. Even though 11 is a huge spread.
Yeah, that's huge.
It might be first or second biggest this season. And I bet the other one involves Buffalo and somebody. So Buffalo is just a machine. Yes, they've lost a game that they probably shouldn't have lost. but that happens to every team. Just about. So far, it hasn't happened to Philly, but it's going to happen. They're going to lose a game, and maybe they shouldn't have lost. They've had a couple close ones. The one in
Right.
Detroit, I thought they were going to lose in Detroit. I did.
Yeah, and then the Arizona one.
And then the Arizona too. Yeah. But I agree with you. Buffalo is just too much. Green Bay, where's the offense coming from? If they can't run the ball, they're screwed. Now they have
Right.
two good running backs, but they don't have receivers. Lazard's a 2 or 3 on just about any other team.
And I think he's out.
Oh, is he out? If he's out, geez, you might want to double check that spread for the Express Sunday morning. It might go up.
I think that's why it is 11, because I think
could be, but it's not. Aaron Rodgers could be the king, but if you're the king of a kingdom with no people in it, to paraphrase Tom Petty and take the opposite opinion, it's not good to be the king.
It's checkmate,
Yeah, you got to hope he doesn't get hurt. That's what you got to hope for, is that he could get hurt. Von Miller's coming in there and other guys on defense. You gotta hope he don't get hurt if you're looking for playoffs. And they're at least 2 games back of Minnesota already.
Yep.
In the division. So Buffalo all the way. Bills Mafia is don't even need to put out the good hitmen. They can put out the little guys to take care of business on this one. So. And last but not least, on Monday Night Football, we've got the Green Bay game is Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football, a division game. Cincinnati goes to Cleveland. Cincinnati is picked by 3.5. Now it is that old AFC black and blue division, basically. It's AFC North, I think, but it's
this comes down to Cincinnati is maybe like 2 notches below Buffalo. They could put up points. I was going against Joe Burrow last week in fantasy. He scored 80 points against me. I was just like
80. Holy cow! I don't know what your system is, but
you get a 1 point for completion, and he had it's
just astounding.
It was just.
If somebody says he can't play quarterback, they're out of their mind, or they don't know anything about football. Because
they are in the dog pound,
but still,
I just I like Cincinnati across the board.
Sounds like Rain Man. Remember Rain Man used I like Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah. Of course, this was baseball, the Reds. I like the Cincinnati Reds.
They're Cleveland can't put up the points to stay with them. And Brissett is not the answer. And
no.
I mean, they could do ball control and everything, but
you can't. I guess they're just hanging on till Deshaun gets ready.
Right.
And they're hoping they're still in the hunt then, right?
Yeah, and it'll be too late by now.
I was just gonna say, he's still what, 6 weeks away, 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
Week 13 is the first week he can play. And you're counting on him to be the savior when he can practice, but it's not the same as playing a game. So it's 3.5, but like you said, I don't know where Cleveland's offense is coming from. Especially since Beckham left a couple years ago and Landry left. They don't have the receivers anymore. And so all you've got is a running game. I just don't see where the points are coming from against a team like Cincinnati that can put up points. They've put up points against good teams. Even games they lose, they put up points. So I'm with you on that one. Unfortunately, we can't get much of a difference there. I'm going to go with Cincinnati across the board because the spread's only 3.5. I can't see Cleveland staying within. I'll be honest. If they gave 6, I would probably still take Cincinnati. I think Cleveland's going to have a tough time scoring.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yep. So there we go. Your 2 teams on a bye this week. There's only 2, but the Chiefs and the Chargers are both on a bye this week. So that's why there's 15 games instead of 16. One of them is in London, Denver and Jacksonville. Tonight, Baltimore at Tampa Bay. I don't know of any other NFL news at the moment. There are a couple guys that are going to try and play Gimpy. We mentioned that. Russell Wilson is one. A couple guys are healthier and better than we thought. Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is still playing a little gimpy, but he played well last week and was able to run around a little bit. Another week's rest, and maybe he'll do well as well. Couple changes we talked about. The biggest one being Ellinger at quarterback for the Colts. Nick Foles is officially the backup there as well. So even when Ryan gets healthy, that's the way they're going to go. And to me, that's a good backup. I mean, he's proven he can come in anytime and do stuff. And Frank Reich knows him. Frank Reich was his OC when they won the Super Bowl, so he knows the deal with Nick Foles. People would rally around him if he got in there. So Tommy Terrific hasn't been playing so terrific this season. I think what you said is true, is that the personal issues, I think, are really weighing him down. He looks terrible physically. I mean, his appearance looks bad. And he's under pressure a lot as far as pass rush. His offensive line isn't very good. So if they don't let Fournette run the ball 20 times and maybe catch it out of the backfield about 5 more, to me, if he doesn't get 25 touches, they're in trouble, especially now that they've lost Brate, I think, for the season, if I'm not mistaken. He's definitely going on IR, so it's a minimum 4 weeks. So that their tight end, that hurts. And I think Gage is either out or questionable. Godwin is questionable, but I think he'll play. So I think Tampa Bay's got issues. So that's really about it to me. New York Jets are going to miss that running back.
And Baltimore's got Andrews questionable tight end.
Andrews. I heard Andrews was probably going to be out, but you never know with him. He's a tough guy. He might get in there and play.
And Bateman, I think, is questionable.
Well, Bateman played last week, unless he got re-nicked up, unless he hurt aggravated.
Duvernay would be playing.
Okay.
Gus Edwards.
He started last week, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah,
he looked good actually. And the timing for that was about perfect because they lost Dobbins.
Right.
So they needed something. Edwards came back and played really well last week, and it was powerful too. He wasn't afraid to get into the line. He's a different kind of runner than Dobbins anyway. So that helped them, I think, a lot. And that's the other reason I don't think they're going to have too much of a problem anyway with Tampa Bay tonight. I really don't. I just don't. Oh, I picked Tampa Bay just for fun, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I'm going to check with you on Sunday.
I might check back with you too, son. I'll check back with you tomorrow.
If you check on Sunday, then I'll check on Sunday. We both get mulligans this week. We didn't know that our NFL picks were turning into golf. So that's about it. We're close to each other in both categories. We're dead even on straight picks at 55%. So if you're looking to just bet your neighbor without the point spread and all that, or your friend or your brother or whatever, we're going to be right more than we're wrong. You can count on us for that. You got a 50-50 shot with us against the spread. Bill's right at 50%. I'm at 49%, 2 games behind him. And we're both just a few percentage points behind Vegas, who's like at 56%. So we've got time to catch them like we did last year. And once we got them in about week, I think 10, 12, we kept the lead and kept pouring it on. And we ended up beating them by about 4 or 5%. But it was still close. We're not going to replace Vegas, okay? But, we're in the neighborhood with them. So if you ever want to say, I don't know about these Vegas picks. And Bill and I, like we said, use 2 different methods. Bill uses numbers a little bit more than I do, analytics. But he figures in eye test and injuries. I don't necessarily go for analytics too much. I use mostly eye test and injury reports and things like that. So we kind of use 2 different systems, but as you can see, they both usually work. Usually work. So it's a matter of what your preference is.
And that being said, too,
go ahead.
That changes your mind. No, I'm just saying that changes mine with that saying and that being said.
That being said, we'll say this.
Bet at your own risk.
Yeah. That being said, let's say this. I think, like you said, it's going to be an interesting week. And that being said, we're done until the Sunday Morning Express, which will be only on Facebook Live. And other than that, we're about ready to go.
Yeah.
Bill, unless you have something else, I think we'll wrap this puppy up.
Yeah. Go Phillies, go Union, baby.
That's it. Phillies game 1 tomorrow night in Houston. Aaron Nola versus Justin Verlander. Go Phillies. Go Union. Making they're in what, the semifinals now?
They're in the
Is that
conference.
what it is?
They're in the
They're in the
conference
conference
final.
finals. Okay.
Conference final
And
against New York.
Okay, and if they win, they go to the finals, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Go Union. Go Phillies. We will talk to you soon. Go Eagles. In my case, Bill's like, go Eagles, and Chiefs. Enjoy your week off, which would scare me for next week's team because Andy Reid with time off. That's look at his record after bye weeks. It's got to be like 15-4. 15.
That might be my lock of the week.
Next week. Oh, I didn't pick a lock of the week, did I?
Oh, that's right. You need a lock of the week.
I need a lock of the week, buddy.
And an upset.
And an upset. Did you pick an upset?
I didn't pick an upset.
No, you didn't pick an upset. Lock of the week. I think I'm going to pick Philly.
And I'm going to Jets.
For your upset?
Yes.
Over. Oh, they're playing New England. That's not much of it to me. Yeah, that's not much of an upset, buddy. But I'll put it down for you. I don't think, because we both picked the Jets.
Yeah, but they're underdogs.
True. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to wait till Sunday to pick that Thursday night game. I'm going to make my switch now, and I'm going to pick Baltimore since Tampa Bay's favorite. I'm going to take Baltimore, and I'm going to take them as my upset of the week. I'm going to do a Bill. It's a 2-pointer, but I'm taking them as my upset. So I'm switching to Baltimore, and I am going to write them down as my upset.
So we'll only have one game different than this week.
Yes, it's true. No. A couple of them are spreads.
Spreads.
Arizona, Minnesota is straight up. That one's different.
Oh, that's a different one.
That's a different one. You took Minnesota. I took Arizona across the board.
Okay, and I took the Colts. You took Washington.
Right. So we got those two.
Right, so there's two different.
There's two different there. I took San Francisco. You took the Rams.
Oh,
there's three. And on the spread, you took the Giants. I took Seattle. So that we're a little different there.
Okay.
So counting all the differences, we have 4. I think 3 of them are on straight, which makes them also spread. And then 4 of them are, a 4th one is on just the spread. So that'll do it. I am taking Baltimore. Because I told you I was going to change it if I could. I can't change it Sunday, so I got to change it. It's now or never, so I'm changing it now. Because I don't know. I just, with Gus Edwards back, he made a big difference last week for them, and I can't see Tampa stopping Jackson. So I think he'll run if he has to. Tom can't even run in the pocket, let alone run outside the pocket. So. Tom's got to run to his divorce lawyer, and that's about it.
I was going to say, run to divorce. He
run to court.
Run out the back door, that's for sure.
Run to court, Tom. That's it. It's bad when your supermodel wife goes and hires a divorce lawyer. Chances are, I don't think they're making up anytime soon. So, stranger things have happened, but I don't see it. Unless he can drag it out to the end of the season, retire, show her he's retiring, and say, I'm done. I've signed the papers this time. I'm done. And just see what happens. But we don't even know if that's all of the reason.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. So.
And you never know what the next chapter in his life. He might want to go into broadcasting.
That's right. Well, he's supposed to. He's supposed to. He signed a deal with Fox, which still means he's going to travel all over the country every week. So, and 300 some odd million to do it.
And
10 years, I think that's astronomical.
A lot of studying,
a lot of film. He's going to have to learn how to interview people, which I don't think is going to be his forte, but they do that in meetings during the week. So, he's not going to be home much still. More than he would be if he was playing. Plus, in the off season, he'll be home more. But Giselle might be, and I don't blame her in a way. If what's coming out is true, like he doesn't spend time at home. I gave up this many years of my life for him. Now it's time for me to do this. That was our agreement. So, you know, whatever. So, all right, buddy. That's it. That's a wrap.
Right.
Don't always scream. What's your t-shirt? Your sweatshirt say, your hoodie? Don't always scream at my, I can't see the bottom of it. I got the scream. Don't always scream at my, oh, and now you stood up, you're going. At my what? Television?
Oh, television, yeah.
All right.
During hockey season.
Oh, during hockey season. I don't always scream at my television during hockey season. There's times, you know, when I'm out of the room. All right, pal. So
all right, buddy.
We will see you soon. Thanks to Dennis and all the people at Vineland Realty Corporation for being our sponsor, our main sponsor. Thanks to DraftKings for giving us up-the-minute odds. And thanks to the band for most of the time always being ready to play the theme song. We are out of here. Thanks, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Probably sooner than you guys want. Take care. We will see you when we see you.